Welcome to the Let's Eat Grandma Career Warrior Podcast.
Try something a little bit fun with you right now. I don't know how this goes. I never do, and perhaps I'll embarrass myself. But that's always the fun of a podcast, right? So let's kind of do some brainstorming, and I want to come up with a story for if someone asks me what my greatest professional weakness is. I want to come up with my own story for that answer. Does that sound like something we can do?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Your professional weaknesses. So
We're about to get heavy.
I never heard about that. I want to know about my professional weaknesses. But Chris, then you have to tell me, a time when you maybe failed and you didn't expect to.
Okay, so is that a different question than the weakness one, or is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see how you react on it.
This is not. This is more brainstorming rather than how I would answer. So don't judge me too hard, listeners. So I think a time when I failed. Let me think about that. I remember once I was running. I was managing a restaurant over in New York State, and we had a lot to do to get it up and running. And so I remember, I think opening day, when we were opening up this restaurant, we had a very long turnaround time. The food was taking a really long time to get out, and our servers were really slow, and there was just a lot of confusion, and there was like a really big kind of this mess going on. And I take a lot of responsibility for that because I was the one who hired all the people who, they hired the one or two servers who were in charge and who were responsible for that. I would consider that whole day a fail because just the food was really going out really slow during that time and the servers were going slow. Now, that's not my actual answer for what I would say. That's me kind of just telling you. But what do you think about that? How can I make that sound nice? Because it doesn't sound nice.
No, it doesn't sound nice. So look on you now here, Chris. Was there anything that you could have done better in that situation, if you remember that? Was this situation due to you, if you remember? It was, it
was our servers that were slow, or it was our runners that were slow, but really at the end of the day, it's my fault because
it's your fault.
I was the one who trained them, and I was the one who was trying to get them up ready for that opening day. So
you were the leader of the team, and
I was the leader.
It was chaos there. So it was something in the planning and the organization here, Chris, I have a feeling of. So when you look on it here, what would you have done differently today?
If I would have done it differently, experience always helps. So I'm glad I have this. I think I would have. This is hard to say, and I hope this doesn't come out the wrong way. But I think I would look for people who would have had a little bit more experience than the people who I hired at the time, because I think that's a really tough thing to say. Is like I would rather get more people, but at the end of the day, it still does come to me. So I would have looked a little bit more closely at the people who actually brought for the opening day, because an opening day for a restaurant is much harder than if I were an already established restaurant. So I think having the people who already had experience, perhaps with a restaurant opening, would have made things a lot smoother, and I would have had some better systems in place.
Yeah. So if you now look on yourself as a person here, what does it say about you when it went like this? When you look at it, what does it say about your person or personality, you think?
I think it says that I don't just blame people. And I think that is a positive. I do take full responsibility for that opening day and for things being messy and chaotic. And I didn't just say, oh, it was our serving team whose fault it was. I didn't do anything wrong. So I think having a strong sense of accountability is a positive thing. And the fact that now that thinking this through with you, I think it could say that I am introspective enough that I can learn from my mistakes and fix it
Yeah,
for next
fix
time.
it. Fix it next
Yeah.
time. So let's put it this way: you may be a little bit optimistic and naive in the planning the first time, but when I listen to and I talk with you here, kind of interview or coaching or whatever, I can hear that you are aware of that. So let's say that you are kind of optimistic in your way of being. You have a wonderful story to tell here, and you can laugh about it, because the learning lesson is, I learned this, it won't happen
Yeah.
again.
Oh my
So
gosh.
this is a wonderful story, Chris. It's absolutely wonderful. You can tell this story in less than 45 seconds and make this weakness to a learning becoming a strength and a new skill in the future.
That is awesome. And I can't believe we just did that on the fly right now, because I was nervous. We were just brainstorming. But no, now that I think about it, if I were to interview for a position like that, even if it wasn't restaurant related, I could actually use that story, and I would want to refine it to where it was at 45 seconds, I think is reasonable time for me to be
Yep.
able to get that
Yep.
out there. But I think the question that you asked back to me was just so powerful. Like, what did I learn from that experience that was a quote unquote failure, that I could have gotten better at? That's
Yeah,
awesome.
absolutely. And if I were your coach, I would put a twist in it and
Sure.
say, could you please add some humor? So you
Okay.
get feelings into it, because how did you feel, I would say, in the situation when it started to get chaotic at that time, of course. But if you retrospectively look at it, it's like a movie. You see, chaos, and
Right.
you can smile at it. Yeah, I remember I was like, bloody hell, it was chaos. It was chaos, guys. But I learned so much, and that's a twist that you could put into it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is awesome. This is turning out way more exciting than I thought it would.